Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here, and in today's video, we're going to be breaking down the Week 8 Thursday Night Football Showdown slate on Draftkings. For this Week 8 Thursday night, we do have a game between the Bucs and the Bills. We're going to talk through this Showdown slate, guys. We're going to go top to bottom and talk about all the playable options, all the guys that I do have interested in on this slate. As always, though, before we get started breaking down this slate, if you guys do enjoy these DFS videos, and if they do help you out, make sure to hit that like button down below, guys. I do always appreciate the likes. Hit that subscribe button if you guys have not yet, and if you're new to the channel, if you have not never heard of PrizePicks, PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can check out PrizePicks linked down below in the description, or just when you sign up for PrizePicks, be sure to use that promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. And for those of you that don't know what PrizePicks is, they are a player prop site. Very simple and easy to use. You're playing against the projections on PrizePicks, and if you think a projection is too high, you take the under, you take less. If you think it's too low, you take the over, you take more. Very simple. You can make, you have to make at least 2 picks on PrizePicks, but you can make up to a 6-pick entry. You can win up to 25x your money over there. They offer a lot of props in a lot of different sports. Obviously, they have NFL, they have NBA, which has started back up, college football, MLB. We got the World Series starting on Friday, I believe. So they'll have MLB props up. On PrizePicks, you can mix and match sports as well. So like you can make a 4-pick entry with an NBA pick, an NFL pick, a college football pick, and an MLB pick. Like you could do all kind of different sports. It's a lot of fun. You guys need to be playing on PrizePicks. If you're not signed up, again, use that promo code NOAH. Get your first deposit matched up to $100. But let's go ahead and talk through this showdown slate for Thursday night, guys. And we'll start off at the top of the player pool. We'll hit on the quarterbacks first. So Josh Allen, he's coming in as the most expensive player on the slate, $11,800. Then you have Baker Mayfield, who's coming in at $9,200. Don't think we need to spend a ton of time on Josh Allen here. You guys know that he is clearly one of the best, if not the top play on the slate. Allen is a great fantasy quarterback. This Buffalo Bills team, they're a pass-heavy offense, so Allen's going to get a lot of numbers through the air. He's also a guy that offers rushing upside. He hasn't been running as much lately. You look at his rushing yards the last 4 games. He's been below 20 rushing yards in 4 straight games. Hasn't been running as much lately, but you can still get rushing touchdowns from Allen. He's still a guy that can just do everything. Dual threat quarterback still. I think he's clearly a top play on the slate. Don't need to spend much time there. And then Baker Mayfield at $9,200. I'm indifferent on Baker Mayfield here. I don't think it's like the greatest spot for Tampa Bay, but I do expect his ownership to be probably lower than it should be. I mean, quarterbacks tend to get a lot of ownership on these showdown slates, but I feel like people are going to be scared to click Mayfield here just because they know it's not a good matchup. It's a tough environment going on the road in Buffalo. But I expect the Buccaneers to be playing from behind. I think Baker Mayfield's going to have to throw the ball in this game. We saw Mayfield get up to 42 pass attempts last week. Like, if we're getting that type of volume, Baker Mayfield can just fall into 15, 16 DraftKings points if he's going to throw the ball 40 times. So even at $9,200, even though he's kind of expensive, I still think Baker Mayfield's a pretty solid play on the slate. I do like both quarterbacks here. Then you have Steph Diggs, Mike Evans, some of the top wide receivers in this game. Steph Diggs, $11,400. Clearly a top option as well. I think straight up, I probably would rather play Josh Allen, and I think Josh Allen probably projects a little bit better than Steph Diggs will. But Diggs is someone you can definitely go to in tournaments. He makes a lot of sense as a captain play. We know that Steph Diggs is a target monster in this Bills offense. He's getting double-digit targets on a weekly basis. Nobody in this Tampa Bay secondary, I don't think, is really going to be able to shut down Steph Diggs here. So no issue with Diggs. Still think Allen is a guy I prefer over him, but Diggs is a strong play. Mike Evans at $10K, I could see coming in somewhat low owned. I think you're definitely overpaying for Mike Evans here. Don't love the matchup against Buffalo. Don't love the spot in general for this Bucs team, but I think the ownership on these Bucs guys is going to be lower just because it is such a tough spot. People are going to be scared to load up on the Bucs. You're probably going to get the opportunity for Mike Evans because, like I said earlier, I do expect Tampa Bay to be playing from behind, so I think Baker Mayfield's going to have to throw the ball, and if he's throwing the ball a ton, you do expect plenty of targets from Mike Evans. Mike Evans does have big play upside. We've seen some upside from him this year. 20 DraftKings points last week. He had 32 DK points week 2 against Chicago. He does have a big ceiling, but you're definitely paying the premium for Evans at $10K. In cash games, I think it makes a lot more sense to just get up to Josh Allen, to get up to Steph Diggs, but in tournaments, if you want to go to Mike Evans, can't knock you for it. I think he's firmly in play. James Cook coming in at $8,600. James Cook has had a pretty good role on this Bills team, but he is still splitting time with Latavius Murray. And if you do look at the snaps last week, the running back snaps, in terms of snap share, at least, it was basically a 50-50 split. 37 snaps for James Cook last week, 32 for Latavius Murray. So Latavius Murray is playing a good amount. He's playing more than I would really want him to if I was rostering James Cook. But I still think James Cook projects to get probably 12 to 15 touches here. He should see like 12, 13, 14 carries. He should see a couple targets as well. At 8,600, I still think James Cook is viable. I don't think he's like a slam dunk for me. I don't think he's a guy that I'm running to roster, but he is still in play. And then Rachaad White is coming in at 8K. Rachaad White has kind of been the clear RB1 for Tampa Bay this season. Last week, played 75% of the snaps. The week before that, he played 79% of the snaps. Rachaad White has struggled with efficiency this year. He's not been very efficient as a runner, but he's getting a lot of usage in the passing game. And in a game script where you expect Tampa Bay to be playing from behind, I could definitely see this being another game where you get like 5, 6, 7 targets for Rachaad White. I do expect him to put up some good numbers through the air in the passing game, just because he's going to get a lot of dump offs likely. In terms of his ground game, what can we project for him on the ground here? I don't think he's going to have that efficient of a game on the ground rushing wise. He'll probably get like 10, 11 carries for like 30, 40 yards. I mean, it's hard to project him for a ton of efficiency, but the volume has been there, and that's what you really want to bank on for most of the time. I think between him or James Cook, I probably would actually prefer Rachaad White, just because I think Rachaad White gets more playing time. He's going to be on the field more. He probably projects for just as many touches as Cook does, and he's coming in cheaper as well. So if I had to pick a running back to play in this game, I think I would lean White over Cook. Then you have Chris Godwin at 7,800, who I do like quite a bit on this slate. I think Chris Godwin is definitely underpriced. Chris Godwin's been a consistent target earner in this Bucs offense. Although we've seen a lot of big games from Mike Evans and we haven't seen a ton of huge games from Chris Godwin, Godwin has still been getting all the opportunity he can get. 11 targets, 7 targets, 12 targets last week, double-digit DK points in all but one game this season. Very high floor from Chris Godwin. You probably do get a bigger ceiling from Mike Evans, but you're also having to pay $2,200 more to get up to Mike Evans. So given the savings, I like dropping down from Evans to Godwin. If I was going to target a Tampa Bay receiver in this game, I think I actually do prefer Godwin at his price tag over Evans. Godwin is listed as questionable for this game, but I don't think there's any chance we really should worry about this. I'm pretty sure he got a full practice in on Wednesday, so he should be good to go. I'm not expecting Godwin to miss this game. Then you have Gabe Davis at 6,800. Gabe Davis has been the clear wide receiver 2 in this Bills offense. He's definitely had a tougher time earning targets because Steph Diggs is dominating so much of the target share. But you're still seeing Gabe Davis play a large majority of the snaps. Last week he played 96% of the snaps. Like, he's going to be out there for almost every single snap, and he's going to be out there running routes. He probably projects to see like 6, 7 targets. I do expect his ownership to be fairly low because I think he's going to, Chris Godwin's going to project a lot better than Gabe Davis, and Godwin is, pretty similarly priced, only $1,000 more. I think a lot of people are going to play Godwin there. So if you want to go to Davis in tournaments, I don't hate it. He's a guy that I just never get right. It seems like anytime I play Gabe Davis, if I try and like take a stab on him at low ownership, he sucks. He does have those random games where he will pop off. Maybe this is that game where it happens. Davis is fine. He's firmly in play. I don't think he's someone that I'm going to be going out of my way to play, though. And then if we're looking at some value on the slate, you're looking like below 6K. You always have the kickers you could look to for value. 5,400 for Bass, 4,600 for McLaughlin. Both the kickers are fine here. The tight ends I like a lot in this game. I do want to talk about both the tight ends. So you have Dalton Kincaid coming in at 5K, and then you have Cade Otton, who's 3K. Kincaid should have a pretty big role here. No Dawson Knox for this game, so Kincaid is going to play probably close to every snap. Last week, you can't look too much into the snaps because he played with Dawson Knox last week, but you still saw 61% of the snaps for Kincaid. He's been a guy that's typically played 50 to 60% of the snaps, most weeks, and now without Dawson Knox, you could see like a 75%, 80% snap share for Kincaid. Last week, he was able to earn 8 targets. He's a good receiving tight end. We've kind of seen that this season. I know he hasn't put up great numbers this year, but he's going to be in line for more opportunity here without Dawson Knox. He could be, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if he's second on the team in targets behind Steph Diggs. I could see him out-targeting Gabe Davis. So I do like Dalton Kincaid quite a bit at 5K as a value option. And then Cade Otton I like a lot at 3K as well. He's super cheap. He's basically been the #1 tight end all season for the Bucs. There's really no one taking snaps away from Cade Otton. If you look last week, Cade Otton, or at least the last 2 weeks, Cade Otton has played 96% of the snaps. Targets should be there. Probably 5 to 6 targets is what we would project for Otton here. And I think that's, if we're going to get 6 targets from Cade Otton at 3K, he can find a way to put up a good game here. He doesn't have to put up a massive outing to pay off a 3K price tag. If he gets you 9, 10 DraftKings points, that's going to be pretty good at his salary, and I think he's got a good chance of getting that in a game where the Bucs should be playing from behind. So definitely like Cade Otton for value, like Kincaid as well at 5K. Latavius Murray at 4,800, I don't hate here. Latavius Murray at this point in his career, I don't think it's like the greatest running back, but he's been getting opportunity. Like I said, he's basically, him and James Cook have basically been splitting the snaps 50-50, and without Damian Harris right now, I think that probably does continue. So if you're going to see Latavius Murray play half the snaps at running back and probably get like 7 to 8 touches, maybe more than that, he has been getting a lot of the work near the goal line, which is kind of weird. Like they've actually been taking James Cook out near the goal line and bringing in Latavius Murray. So I think Latavius Murray has a chance at a touchdown here. If they get near the goal line, I could see him getting that goal line carry over James Cook. That's been the case a lot this season. I don't mind Murray at 4,800. I do prefer the tight ends over him for value, but I think Murray is in play on the slate. The Bills' defense at 4,400 I think is going to be really popular. They are very cheap here. They're big favorites at home. You know, Baker Mayfield's going to have to drop back a ton in this game, so you're probably going to see plenty of opportunities for sacks and forced fumbles and pick sixes and stuff like that. But I've said this so many times, man. Like when defenses are really popular on showdown slates, it's always a fade. I think defenses always tend to be overowned. When they are overowned, I'm fine just not going there because defensive scoring is just so hard to predict. The Bills defense could put up 20 DraftKings points here. They also could put up 4 DraftKings points. It's a very wide range of outcomes when you're talking about scoring for defenses. And I do expect the Bills defense to be popular because they are really cheap and they're at home in a spot where you do expect them to probably win big. I don't love the Bills defense at high ownership. If they were low owned, I'd be interested, but I don't think that's going to be the case because they are so cheap. I think a lot of people are going to go there. And then you have Trey Palmer at 4,200. Trey Palmer has been the clear wide receiver 3 for the Bucs this season, been playing on about 60 to 70% of the snaps most weeks. He's had a tougher time earning targets, but he did see 7 targets week 6 against Detroit. Most weeks, though, it's only been like 2 or 3 targets for Trey Palmer. I know he is a guy that they have been targeting deep a lot. I've seen Baker Mayfield throw some deep balls to Trey Palmer this season. So there's always a chance you could get like a deep ball from Palmer. You could get like a big play. At 4,200, I think he's priced where he should be. I don't think Palmer's like a glaring value on this slate. But because he is priced where he should be, I think that will keep his ownership in check. Someone you could play in tournaments. Definitely not a guy that I'm in love with, though. The Bucs defense, not a ton of interest in. Khalil Shakir at 3,200. I think he's been operating as the wide receiver 3 for the Bills, but they've kind of been running like a 3-man committee at the wide receiver 3 spot. Like they're going to mix in Shakir, they're going to mix in Trent Sherfield, they're going to mix in Deontay Hardy. When we're talking about the wide receiver 3 on Buffalo, none of these guys project to see a ton of opportunity. Shakir did get 4 targets last week. At 3,200, I guess he's playable, but I don't love him at that price tag. Deontay Hardy's $1,000. He is cheaper. We have seen him, get a couple targets most games. I think at $1,000, like if I was going to play one of these fringe Bills wide receivers between Shakir, Hardy, or Sherfield, I think Sherfield, he's $400. If I was going to play one of these guys, I think Hardy would be my favorite at $1,000. If we're just looking for like a pure punt play on the slate, I think he's probably the guy that I would click down here at 1K. There's really not much that I like this cheap, though. Tompkins, I don't have a ton of interest in. I know he's been the wide receiver 4 for Tampa Bay, and he has been earning some targets lately. At $1,600, he's a fine dart throw. None of these guys are going to project that well, but they are salary savers. I definitely think the best values are those tight ends that we talked about. But if you want to take a shot on a Tompkins or a Hardy, I think it's fine. Below $1,000, if we're looking at pure punts, not too much stands out down here. Keyshawn Vaughn is probably going to back up Rachaad White. Last week, Keyshawn Vaughn did play. He did play 18 snaps, got 4 carries, saw 1 target. He probably gets, maybe 3-4 carries, maybe 1 or 2 targets. At $600, I guess he's a GPP dart throw, but I think he's nothing more than a dart throw on this slate. So yeah, guys, I think that's it. I think we kind of talked about all the playable options on this showdown slate. Hope you guys did enjoy this video. As always, I hope these videos do help. Make sure you guys hit that like button down below if you enjoy these videos. Hit that subscribe button as well. And be sure to go check out PrizePicks again, guys. PrizePicks is the sponsor of this video. You guys can check them out, linked down below in the description, or just when you sign up for PrizePicks, use that promo code NOAH. You will get your first deposit matched up to $100 when you sign up for PrizePicks with my promo code. But good luck on Thursday night, guys. Hopefully we get a good game this Thursday night. I'll be excited to watch this one. I'm always tuned into these Thursday night football games. But yeah, hopefully we get a good game. Appreciate you guys watching the video as always, and appreciate your support, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.